Hi, my name's Ryan Patrick. I did my presentation on the Herd Museum. Let's get into it. So, it is located in downtown Phoenix. You can see the location here. Open all week, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Worth noting, $9 for students with ID. Ages 5 and under are free, as well as Indigenous adults and children are also free. Some background: museum was founded by Marie and Dwight Hurd, who you can see here. It opened in 1929, and they self-describe themselves as dedicated to the advancement of American Indian art. Uh, they do present Indigenous stories primarily through like first-person perspectives that really want to highlight their customs, the stories, as well as traditional and modern Indigenous art. I would say that this primarily lines up with history courses. Works pretty great for K through 12 in general. There is one exhibit that I think would be better suited for 6 through 12, and I'll highlight that when we get there. But really, this museum is a great place for an emphasis on Indigenous peoples' roles in Arizona and some of the greater U.S. history. So, an exhibit that I love here is Home, Native People in the Southwest. They essentially have tons of different sections cut out for all of the different tribes that make themselves home in different parts of the Arizona locations. And so the write ups here talk a little bit more about the regions that they come from, what they are kind of known for, artistry. Of course, you can find actual examples here, such as dress, figures, pottery, amazing basket weaving as well that you have from like the Hualapai tribe and the Havasupai tribe as well. Really fantastic stuff. Another good exhibit is Substance of Stars. This has just a few different tribes in it, but mainly with the tying theme that they have a big emphasis on creation mythos in both the cosmos and like in the stars. And so this room that you can walk into has like a 360 video that shows different scenery, and goes through different images before eventually going to like a night starry sky. So that one stood out. And then this one is what I was talking about that I think is a little bit better for 6 through 12: Hidden History, American Indian Boarding Schools. There's an explicit imagery, but it is very heavy themes that tie into things like forced assimilation, loss of identity, and colonialism. So I do think older students can probably better handle a conversation and some of the themes of that. Um, this really stood out to me. You could see here in the glass a representation of different students that were put into the boarding schools having their hair cut and kind of losing some of their native identity that they have with them. Of course, the photos here, you can see kind of before and after images as people are almost cleaned up, quote unquote, put into almost like Victorian attire. And throughout the exhibit, there's also different quotes here from interviews with people that actually went through the boarding school process. So a lot of the exhibit is told through their actual voices, which is very important. Also want to real quick just show off the website. If you're looking for how to get through here as a teacher and get resources, easy, click on education. You've got information on school tours, which they do offer in person, teacher resources here. You can even find stuff for curriculum, including stuff for the boarding schools tour that we just showed, stuff like the virtual field trip series, which just has some short videos that highlight different pieces and exhibits throughout the museum. And then students, I think, even can use right here art and exhibitions. Show them that. Go to art collections. And they have a database with all of their stuff and all the different artworks and galleries. So you can have students, find or search for things like that. If you have projects or just want them to do some sort of activity, you can definitely use this for that. Also, if you're looking for other resources and want to be involved, herdguild.org is great. It is a website composed of volunteers for the Herd Museum, has information on how to join with volunteering, as well as a bunch of different groups that are affiliated with them in the Herd Museum. The Youth Art Show is also a fun event tied to that in the Herd Museum that could be good for students. And then the museum Instagram as well also just goes over just different artists highlighting different art pieces, and as well as different events that are coming up, and just a good way to stay up to date if you're interested.